Welcome, welcome, welcome again for a new episode of Off Leash. Today we are interviewing Robin Flory.
Flory. Yep.
And you are a instructor at the Pirelli. Okay, you want to hold up your? There you go.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Tell me about your instructor position. What do you do here?
I am a 4-star instructor and horse development specialist, and I am now here on campus at the new Pirelli Landing in South Carolina, and I am the head of faculty here.
I love that. How long have you been doing that?
The head of faculty just now.
Just now?
Yeah.
You just got the promotion?
Yeah, I just started that.
I love that.
I've been an instructor with Pirelli since 2010.
Okay. And what made you start using the Pirelli natural horsemanship?
I had a horse who I didn't understand, and I would push her past her thresholds, and she bucked me off and dumped me off a few times, and I didn't understand her. And one of my friends from college brought the Pirelli videos home and was like, "You should watch these." And so I started watching them and started making a difference and made sense.
It's all been history since then.
Yeah, I couldn't stop.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you also are a dog and cat lover.
I am. Yep, I have a dog named Lola, and she's 5 years old, and then a cat named Clark, who's about 2.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So tell me about how long you've had animals throughout your life.
Always had animals in my household growing up. We had cats and a dog, and I would just randomly go out and teach my dog different things. I actually taught her to jump barrels.
Oh.
And then she learned to jump the fence.
Oh.
And then she was
a good trick turned into a bad habit.
Yeah, it wasn't the best thing. I was like, whoops, sorry.
It happens.
But that was me not knowing much of anything, but just was out there having fun.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
So tell me about your first dog growing up.
Her name was Misty, and she was a black lab, golden lab mix.
Okay.
And my dad just brought her home one day, and she was our dog.
I love that. And you trained that dog as well?
Yeah, that was the one I taught to jump barrels.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just got this dog how long ago? Tell me about your current dog.
Yeah, so Lola I've had about 5 years.
Lola's beautiful.
2019 she is. She's
absolutely
so cute. Beautiful. Yeah, she's part Carolina dog, part Border Collie, and part German Shepherd.
I've never heard of Carolina dog.
Neither had I.
I've heard of Catahoula leopard hounds, but never like Carolina.
Yeah, they're the American dingo.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, so I had to learn all this when I got her. I had a student who asked me if she was a Carolina dog because I got her from rescue.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know, what is that? And so I looked them up, and there are wild packs of them. There's still some wild packs of them in the Carolinas.
Really?
Yeah, not many, but I guess there are still some.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Great dog.
I love that. Okay, and so something unique about you is that you also have a cat that is like a dog.
He's very dog-like, and my dog's kind of cat-like in a way.
Okay, so this is like an adventure cat.
He is. He definitely is. So when I got him as a kitten, when I brought him home from, it was a student's place. She had found him by a lake, and her and Lola became best friends when I was there.
Okay, so
Lola kept seeking her out to go play with her or play with this cat. And so she was like, you have to take this kitten home. It's like, okay, that's just what I need, another cat. And so
this got forced on you. You weren't like, oh, I'll take it. You're like, okay.
I guess
the dog chose the cat.
Yeah, it happened. And so on the way home, like he slept in my lap the whole time. He used a litter box on the way there. And I'm just like, okay,
this is a cool
interesting.
cat.
Yeah. And so he started going on vacations with us. And like I put a harness on him and like taught him to walk on a harness, and
took the cat on hikes.
We go on hikes.
How old was the cat when you first started taking it on hikes?
Like a few months old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we had a little backpack.
You travel with your cat a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know what? I want to touch on this. I want to touch on traveling tips with cats.
Traveling tips with cats.
Because I get a lot of questions about that. People are like, I want to go on a road trip. I want to start traveling, but I don't know what to do with my cat. So a lot of people put them in not shelters, but like boarding facilities.
They board them, yep.
And one of my friends actually just started traveling with her cat, and she's like, oh my gosh, I needed so many tips before I started doing this.
Yeah.
Because I did not know how difficult it would be to travel with a cat.
Yeah.
So lay it on us. Give us some cat travel tips.
Probably the biggest thing is like I have a little travel litter box.
Okay. Where do you buy this?
It was a Tupperware container.
Okay. It's efficient.
Yeah.
And small.
Yeah, it's fun. It has a lid on it, so you can like cover it when you don't need it.
And this is a big cat, and he uses the Tupperware.
And he uses a little tiny litter box. But,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So as he's gotten older, he can usually make it the whole trip.
Okay.
But what he does is when he needs to go, he'll start jumping up on the console and
nudging you, and you're like, oh, you have to go
me.
pee.
Excuse me, I need to go out. And so I'll, like, as soon as I can, I'll stop. And
you don't ever trust your cat to just put the leash on and like go potty like a dog, or no?
So I think he would, but I haven't yet.
Something about the cat in the litter box, they have to.
Yeah, they just like to do it. But like he does go out on he will like use the bathroom on the leash. Mm-hmm. Just usually takes longer than I want to wait while I stop.
Has he always been cool with car rides?
Mm-hmm.
Ever since day one?
Day one.
So that's the first step, is getting a cat that is good on car rides.
Yeah, I think you have to start them young.
Yeah.
So it helps that as a kitten, I was like, this is our life.
You know what? Sometimes I feel like when you're training a horse or a dog or a cat or whatever it is, a lot of people are like, oh, it's too young to know that. It's too young to know that. I'm like, no, that's when you want to start teaching them. That's the perfect time. Day one.
Yes, exactly.
Because they think, they can't, their brains can't comprehend training yet.
And then I did a lot of, I would just be in the car and like open up the car in the garage and put his food and water in there. And so when we weren't traveling, like
that's a good idea.
Lot of good things happened in the car.
Yeah. Associating it with that positive activity, positive reinforcement. Yep. Okay. You get fed here. You get water here. Yep. That's a good way.
And he likes, if you find out what they like, because cats are hard, they do what they want. But he loves, there's those little like squeezy cat treats in little pouches. He'll do a lot of things for those. So like I can call him back with those.
That's awesome.
He'll do a lot of things. So.
That's awesome. Tell me about the leash training.
Yeah. So I looked that up when I got him because I was like, okay, if you're going to go on hikes, you have to be able to walk on a leash. So I got a little harness and I just put it on him. And at first he didn't want to move. I think that's what most people kind of get hung up on. And I was like, what does he like to do? He likes to play. So I just got he likes to follow little like snake-like toys. And so I got one, and just as soon as I started playing with him, then he'd run around with the harness on. I'm like,
and then it doesn't even register that there's a harness.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's a really good idea.
Every day I'd put that harness on and play with him, and he'd get to go outside with the harness on. And at first he was too little to jump the fence because we have a privacy fence.
Okay.
So I didn't worry about him getting out. And so, put the harness on, you get to go outside.
That's awesome.
And so he started associating it with good things. And then what I did was I clipped the leash on the harness. So he had to drag the leash, and he got used to having that leash on him. And again, play was his motivation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great way to teach.
Yeah.
I put a harness on my cat, and he literally fell. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work. And then I tried to leave him in the harness. I'm like, well, he's got to eventually get up and walk around and stuff. And he laid there for, I think, 3 hours. And I was like, I guess I got to take the harness off. He's not going to be a harness cat.
Yeah.
But I never would have thought about the playing. That's a good tip.
Yeah. I think you just got to find out what motivates.
Yeah.
And I think that's with any animal, right?
Yeah. You have to figure out their motivational factor and what they would do for what reward.
Yep.
Okay. So give me some more tips and tricks.
So then like with the harness, once you got used to the leash being on there and you start holding the leash, like there's in the Prelate program called the porcupine game. So he has to learn to follow a feel. Mm-hmm. But at first with a cat, if you do too much of that, they shut down and they don't want to go. So
is there a reason for that? Just because of cats' demeanor or their nature? Or?
I'm not sure about that. I didn't research that part. I was just like, got it. So once he started walking, I would just follow. So wherever he went, we'd go, and he got used to that.
Okay.
And then I would just every once in a while put a little feel on there and see if he'd come off it. As soon as he did, I'd open my hand, and then he started to follow that, and I could hold it for a little bit longer and longer. And
I suppose another way is like I don't know, giving those like squeezable treats and getting them to follow. Yeah. Yep. That's a good idea too.
That would work.
Or lasers.
Yeah, he doesn't care about lasers at all. Not one bit. I tried, and like he just either doesn't see them or he sees them. He's like,
my cat would jump off a building for a laser. I'm not joking. He's jumped off my deck.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I was lasering the tree, and he launched off the deck into the tree, and I was like, oh.
That's great.
Okay. We really like the laser.
Yeah, like a lemur.
Yeah, it was literally like a lemur cat, and then it like went down the tree and it was fine, but it was crazy. That cat was insane.
Yeah.
The cat that I showed you playing with the dogs.
Yeah. There was that one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he's awesome, but
yeah, little mental.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what makes a good cat, though, is that they're a little mental.
Yeah, that's why we like them.
Yeah, I feel like all the calm cats, they're too chill. Too chill for me.
Yeah, I also taught Clark, it just kind of happened, to give me a high five when he wants to go outside.
Really? Mm-hmm. And so he is out in the facility right now. Like he's outside?
He's outside. So I'll leave doors cracked during the day so he can go in and out.
And you take him to a new place and he's weird. He knows.
He does.
He knows.
So I used to be like, anytime I go somewhere new, I'm like, I'm not taking you off this harness. But then he gets really, he's an adventure. He's a little bit of a wildcat almost, it seems. And he needs to go outside or he gets really anxious and angry and he'll start like biting you and that type of stuff.
Okay.
And so if he doesn't get to go outside and like take care of that, then he's much worse in the house.
Wow.
So I started like, you know what? Like, I guess we're going to try this. Like, I'm just going to let you out. And like, he would go and he'd always come back. And so I travel to teach and every place I go, I'm in a different apartments, different rooms and all that. He always knows exactly where we are. As soon as we get there, he's like, this is our house. And he'll go out and in and
he'll know the bounds of.
He does. Like when I got here, for the first time, I opened the door and like he went out and explored. And Pat looked at me and he was like, "What, you're just going to let him out?" I'm like, he's fine. He'll come back.
He'll come back.
Like, he knows.
If he wants food, he'll come back.
He figures it out. Like every new place we go, he figures out that that's where we are.
And he's a hunter?
He's a hunter. Snakes. He's brought in a lot of snakes into houses.
Okay. That's crazy.
I've tried to save a lot of snakes too. So
see, with my old cat, the one that I showed you, we actually named him. What was his name? We never actually like named him, but everyone would come in and give him a different name. We had like Satan, Lucifer. I don't know why at one point we called him Sanguinette. Because it was a Canadian name that we thought was funny.
Yeah.
But he had a bunch of different names, but he would go out and hunt for mice at first.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be an indoor cat, and I adopted him from the shelter, and they put on the paperwork, cannot be outside.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, he's going to run away.
Yeah.
And so I took him home, and I think I had him for like a total of 5 days, and I opened the door and he bolted out. And I was like, well, that's nice knowing this cat, I guess. Yeah. And then he was gone for 4 days. And I was like, I literally just lost the cat I adopted. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he comes scrolling back and he had blood all over his face. And I'm like, what has he been doing? And I found the place around my house that he's been like storing the mice. And there was like a pile of like 6 of them.
Oh my goodness.
It was like mass murder of mice.
But he didn't eat them.
He doesn't eat them. He just piles them. And then he sits there and is like, I did this for you.
Look at this.
And I'm like, thank you. Now I can fire Griffin pest solution.
Who needs them?
I know. But now I need them because I don't have the cat anymore. Someone stole the cat.
I'm so mad about I'm mad about that for you.
I can almost guarantee it was my construction workers because they picked up the cat and they were like, oh, this is not the ones that I currently have doing construction in my house, but the sketchy ones.
Yeah.
They were picking up the cat saying, what a nice cat. And I was like, I know, I love him. And then I came back and the cat was gone. And then they were like, we didn't know you had a cat. Like, I saw you holding him.
Like, I know you know.
I know you know that this is a cool cat. But yeah, hopefully he's in good hands, I imagine.
I hope so.
I want to get another cat just like him.
You can't have Clark.
I know. I didn't know you had a cat. Actually.
Oh, wait, what are we talking about?
What? We didn't do a whole podcast on it. I do want an adventure cat down the line. I just need the tips and tricks. Okay. It's hard having a kitten though, because they're so rambunctious and
yeah, it helped having Lola. So Lola, my dog.
Yeah.
She would hold toys and get Clark to play with her.
Oh, so, really?
Like literally they were just best friends instantly. And
That's awesome.
Loved playing with her. Sometimes one of my friends, where we'd stay, it was in the downstairs of their house. And so as soon as we start to go down the stairs, they'd go down and start bouncing off each other. Like, hey, bro, hey, what's up?
That's so funny.
They're so funny. I love it.
If one of them were to ever like get lost, the other one would be so sad.
I think they'd find them.
Yeah. They'd be like, I'm going off on a little side quest.
Yeah.
To find my soulmate.
Yeah.
Oh. Tell me like a really good memory that you have with the two of them.
Probably it's on our hikes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've taken them a lot of places.
Yeah. So I like going to like around the Asheville, North Carolina area. We used to.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Are you ever worried about bears or anything?
Probably should be, but I'm not.
I don't know what to do.
I think he would like.
What up, bro?
Come on, bear.
Come at me.
Bring it. He's a pretty tough cat.
That's so funny.
Pat has some working dogs.
Yeah.
And when he met them for the first time, he was like, "What are you?" And like swatted at them and chased them off.
That's cat personality. Black cat bear.
He's just straight up.
Yeah. I always did not understand when people are like, "Oh, someone has a black cat personality," and I'm like, I don't know what that means until I was like, "Oh, it's been enough." Yeah, that. You mean that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But
I had a black cat growing up that would protect our family, and one time he beat up a Doberman.
What? Dobermans are would not mess with one. Yeah. I mean, not that they're mean or anything, just that they look intimidating.
I know, but that cat, he was just like, "Get out of here," and like scratched him up until he ran away from the yard.
Cats, just to a certain level, do not give a fuck about anything. They're so awesome. Standoffish. I don't know why. All my parents' cats are like that too. My parents are collecting all sorts of stray cats at our house right now. Every time
they just show up?
They just show up, and my dad's a veterinarian.
So they know.
And my dad's like, "What's one more outdoor cat?" And then somehow they always end up indoor.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like, "Why do we have 7 cats?" And they're like, "Well, this one's old, and this one lost its vision, and this one's like 19 and it's on its way out, so we're gonna have less soon." I'm like, "Oh my goodness." They get,
that's good.
Yeah. That cat actually, I got it when I was like 8 years old trick-or-treating.
Wow. You just found it?
Oh God, it's got to be older. Hold on.
Don't tell anyone.
We're not mathing right now.
No. Not in public.
But I got the cat. I picked it up when I was trick-or-treating, and I brought it back to the car. I'm like, "Can I keep this cat?" And they were like, "No." They were like, "Where did it come from?" And then they confirmed through the neighborhood. They were like, "Oh yeah, that cat's been running around for a while." They thought I just stole someone's cat from their doorstep. And then they were like, "Okay, yeah, we can keep the cat if it's a stray."
That's great.
So that cat's been there since the dawn of time.
Nice.
Since I was 8.
Nice.
But cats are awesome. I definitely want to get another one. I'm definitely going to use your tips and tricks about...
You should.
I need to start traveling with a cat.
Yeah, and a lot of if hotels are pet friendly, they're cat friendly too.
Yeah.
So at first I would like not tell them that it was a cat.
Yeah. You're like, "I have 2 dogs."
Yeah, I have 2 animals, 2 pets. And then he was in a backpack, and he's usually pretty quiet in there. So like you can't see him. The mesh, it's hard to see in. So I just walk through the hotel.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I used to take my dog to my college lectures when I first got a puppy.
Yeah.
Because she would just sleep all the time as a puppy. So I would put her down on my little jacket, and finally one of the professors walked by and they're like, "Is there a dog in here?" I'm like, "Yeah," because she was snoring. And they were like, "How long have you been bringing that in?" I was like, "Every day." She sleeps all day. I don't know.
I know.
She was not a normal puppy. She was like a very sleepy puppy.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I love that you can incorporate bringing a cat everywhere and bringing your dog everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I started, I was teaching already when I got Lola. And so I got her and I called on my hosts that were hosting me. And I was like, "I have a puppy. Can I bring her?" And they were all like, "Yeah, sure, bring her." And so I actually gave discounts to my clients for like a little while because I was like, I'm going to teach clinics, but I also have to train my puppy at the same time.
Oh, I love that.
So I just spent a lot of time with her, like, "This is how we behave. This is how we're going to be around horses. You got to come with me." And
that's the best way to do it.
You got to wait, and then we get to play. And
yeah,
it was super.
You definitely did not go with the normal mentality of, "Oh, it's a puppy. I'll do it when it gets older."
No, right away, because I was like, if I have to take her everywhere, like she has to be good, or we're not going to be invited back.
Right.
So,
and I feel like people give a little bit more grace to a puppy than like a fully adult dog. Mm-hmm. If someone's training a puppy, I'm like, "Oh yeah, the dog's still young." But if they bring their like 2-year-old dog and they're like, "Oh, my dog's still in training," I'm going to be like, we should have done this a bit earlier.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I love that. And thank you for sharing all your tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to take Pirelli lessons with you, where they find you?
Yeah, well, I'm here on the campus now.
Okay.
And then I still go travel a little bit to teach. So
okay, tell me about your teaching. Where are you going?
Right now, I go to North Alabama, South Alabama, and Georgia, and then I go to visit Iowa back home.
Okay. So a lot of southern states and then random Iowa.
Random Iowa, but that's where I grew up. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to visit your hometown, home state.
Home state. Yep.
Do you like Iowa?
Sometimes.
I've only been there a handful of times.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. But I'm a little bit more southern now, so
yeah.
I don't want to live in the snow.
The blood's thin. Well, we say living in the snow after it just there's this
a snow day here.
It's a snow day after
I know.
How many? 15 years?
Yeah, I
15
think so.
years of no snow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it was fun. It was exciting today, as long as it goes away in a few days.
Yeah, and it's gonna be muddy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining down here about, I can't believe this cold weather. I was like, I just came from
really cold.
1 degree, negative 18 wind chill. I was like, this is tropical.
I know. It's lovely. Balmy out there.
I know. Well, I hope that everything goes well for you down here. And thank you for being a guest on the podcast today.
Nice to meet you. And
yes, thank you. I'm going to get some outro music going.
Excellent. Sorry.
These chairs don't let you bend down all the way.
No, they don't. They keep you proper.
They do. They keep you very proper. I keep adjusting.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us for another episode of Off Leash. And you can catch us on the next one with Dr. P. Thank you.
Bye.